What's up, everybody? Nick back here with you from Project Central, and today we're going to be talking about my top 10 recommendations from Harbor Freight under 50 bucks. We've already done the 25 and under list. That's right here. So let's do the $50 and under list. Let's go. First up is going to be the Inside Track Club. This comes in at $29.99 for 1 year, and for a long time I didn't have this, and I just kind of thought, oh, well, it's kind of a gimmick. But, it's really not. There are actually some crazy deals, especially if you're buying bigger items. We bought a generator this year, and we saved over $100 on that purchase just from our extra Inside Track Club savings. You also get access to the parking lot sales and like their monthly sales, usually a few days earlier, which doesn't sound like that big of a deal. But when stuff sells out over the weekend, it's because the Inside Track Club people scooped it up during the week. So you want to be one of them. On a small side note, earlier this year we purchased the 2-year membership. It used to be 2 years for $45, but it looks like they've discontinued that for some reason, and I'm not sure why. That's what I was going to recommend, but the 1 year is still really good and will save you money, especially on big purchases. Now let's go to the garage and check out number 2. All right, out here in the garage, and number 2 is going to be a good grinder. I've got this Warrior brand. These are the super cheapest ones at Harbor Freight, and I don't even know if they sell these anymore. But this is a Chicago electric grinder, kind of the same. They've really stepped up their game. They've got a lot of better grinders now. The ones that I've been using for years are the absolute bottom of the barrel. So a good grinder, like an actual good one, not these crappy ones that I keep buying, are awesome. That's probably going to be one of my next fabrication purchases, is one of these bigger. I think it's a 7.5 amp. There is a great benefit to having multiple grinders though. I keep a flap wheel on one, a cutoff disc on one. I'd love to have one where I just keep a grinding disc on so that you don't have to keep swapping them out all the time. So check out their grinder section if you got an extra couple bucks to spare next time you're at the store. If you're like me and you're constantly working on old crappy cars, then you are going to be working on stuff at night. So having some good shop lights in the garage or shop or wherever you're working is invaluable. All right, so back in the day we used to have to use fluorescent bulbs. About half the lights in my shop right now are these T8 bulbs, right? Fluorescent tubes. They've worked for a long time, but as they've gone out, I've replaced them with these LED shop lights, like these ones that Harbor Freight sells. And I could not be happier. Being able to not have to worry about busting bulbs. I've hit these before and shattered them with a piece of material or whatever, and that's not fun when you're in the middle of a project, especially at night, when you're needing that light a lot, and you jam a 2x4 up into your light fixture and blow up a bulb on yourself. Not recommended. So if you are needing a shop light upgrade, these ones from Harbor Freight are pretty good. It's awesome being able to link them together, right? So you can link, I think, 6 or 8 of them together because their power draw is so much less. And unless you're Clark Kent and you can see in the dark, the more light, the better. All right, next up on the list is going to be welding rods. Right? If you've got a stick welder, you go through rods. If you go to Lowe's or Home Depot or I think even Amazon, they're just not that affordable. I thought welding rods used to be really affordable. You used to be able to get a super big can, like a 50-pound like tin with a like Pringles can thing you pull off the top for like $50 back in the day, but that's not current prices. These are about $30 for 10 pounds at Harbor Freight, and it sounds like a lot, but if you're smart with them, you can make them last quite a while. That's still about half the price as like Lowe's and Home Depot. Those are usually $30 for like a 5-pound box. I'd still do a lot of stick welding. I've got a decent MIG set up, but I still do a lot of stick welding because, well, it's just a lot cheaper and a lot easier sometimes, honestly, not having to worry about the gas running out or the wire running out, or you're welding thicker material where you can really crank that heat up. So if you haven't checked out the welding section at Harbor Freight to get some rods. They've only got 2 varieties, 6011 and 7018 in this 1/8 inch. So I'm kind of limited on varieties. It's not a welding supply store, but they've got a lot of welding consumables and stuff. But it's worth checking them out. All right, next up on the list is going to be a propane torch. This is a Burnzo-matic, kind of a name brand one in the propane world, but they're awesome, right? Pull a button, and you've got fire. Who doesn't love setting stuff on fire? But that's a conversation for me and my psychiatrist. Anyways, whether you are lighting birthday candles, actually starting a campfire, or working on that rusty bolt that won't come out, or heat shrink, or whatever you're doing that needs a flame, these are super handy, right? A bottle of propane, little bottle of propane like this will last a long time if you're just using it very sparingly. If you are doing a lot of welding onto like cast materials, a lot of times you have to preheat those. Whatever you're doing that needs a flame, these are good. Harbor Freight's got 2 varieties. They've got one that's kind of basically a clone of this, and they've also got one where it's like the bottle is out in front. They're both probably pretty good options. I really like this electronic version. I like this, trigger start version myself, but to each his own. Next up is going to be the ratcheting wrench sets. Harbor Freight has a bunch of different varieties, so choose which one you like the best. But they're basically, so like this 12mm wrench, this is an old Craftsman one. I don't think they even make this style anymore. Basically, the end is ratchet. This used to be pretty trick technology, but now I think these are pretty standard. So if you don't have a set, or you need an extra set for like a backup or whatever, Harbor Freight's got a good variety. I really like using these. These are so flippin' handy. If you turn wrenches at all, these are a must. You have to go buy a set of these if you don't. They're on the list because you could never have too many, especially if you're on the side of the road and you just need to get in there and break something loose. Not having to do it with a regular box end wrench is very nice. They're a modern convenience, and they are absolutely worth the money. All right, number 6 is going to be this 14 amp Bauer circular saw. A circular saw is an absolute staple in woodworking and construction activities, right? Whether you are a woodworker or just a DIY hobbyist like me, this can be an invaluable piece of equipment. Break down sheet goods, cut lumber to length, and all sorts of stuff. I have built a ton, like an absolute ton, of shop infrastructure with just a circular saw, a straight edge, pocket hole guide, and an impact gun, right? Those things you can build. You would be absolutely amazed at how much you can build. So if you don't already have just a good plug-in circular saw, this is a good one to check out. All right, next up on the list is going to be one of the most loved and most feared items from Harbor Freight for any mechanic out there. It's going to be the jack stand, right? We all sort of have a love-hate relationship with these. I'm calling out the 3-ton version. You can get a pair of them for about $50. Whether you get the cool new colored ones, like they've got the whole range of colors, right? So if you need to match your jack stands to your toolbox, you can. But I've just got these old crappy ones. I've also got some 6-ton ones that are the Harbor Freight pre-lawsuit ones, so cross your fingers. And, we all have a love-hate relationship with these, right? We love them because if you're doing something under the car, you can throw them under there. Might save your life one day. Or whatever. Also, like me, this old boy, been on jack stands for a minute. So, you got to be careful because they're really sticky. Once you stick that card on them, maybe it won't come off for a long, long time. Depending on what you're doing. Shout out to my buddy Wyatt who said, you need tons and 40s. It's a different story, different video. But anyways, check out jack stands. If you don't have a set at all, you need some if you're doing any sort of mechanic work, because they truly will potentially save your life one day. I want you to be around, work on your cars, finish your project cars. So jack stands, check them out. Next up at number 9 is going to be this small 3-gallon wet dry vac. I know it's small. I know it's not that powerful. Some would even say it sucks. Okay, don't delete me, please. I'm sorry. But a small, portable, wet dry vac is super handy, right? Small spill inside the house, go grab the vac, clean it up. If you've got plumbing issues, you're having to like change out a faucet, and you need to have a wet vac to clean up some water, great. If you are cleaning out your car, it's great to just carry it out there. It's super easy. And if you're doing, some real small woodworking stuff, you can hold a nozzle right next to whatever you're cutting and suck up all the chips while you're cutting it. A small vac, if you don't have one, if you don't have a big, a bigger shop vac or wet dry vac, I think shop vac's a name brand, but if you don't have one, this is a great entry level spot to pick one up, and on the cheap. All right, number 10. This sort of feels like a cop out because it's a whole aisle at the store, and this is going to be the safety aisle. Whatever we're doing, woodworking, mechanicking, fabricating, general household projects, we have to keep safety in mind. I am not the best about this, but after going to the urgent care 3 or 4 times for getting stuff stuck in my eyeballs, I'm a huge safety freak now. And so should you, right? Whether it's just some regular safety glasses, these are super cheap, $2 or $3 a pair. I think even the high-end ones are like $5 a pair. You can get tinted ones if you're doing outside stuff, do clear ones for doing inside stuff. When the doctor lady at the urgent care looks at your eyes and goes, "Oh my God, there it is," you don't want to be on that end of it. Trust me. So whether it's safety glasses, a grinding shield, gloves, they've got lots of gloves. I like these ones a lot. Or regular, just like utility gloves. Hearing protection, right? None of us want to be the old person that's getting yelled at all the time because they can't hear anything. So wear some hearing protection. It will absolutely save you later in life. And last up, fire extinguisher, right? I keep a few of these in the garage because you don't ever want to lose everything when you could have prevented it with a $25 fire extinguisher, right? We do a lot of stuff, chemicals that are flammable, welding, cutting on things, and like I've talked about propane torch earlier, right? A fire extinguisher can literally be life or death, but also just the hassle of everything you own burning to the ground and dealing with insurance, not fun. So next time you're at the store, spend a little bit extra time walking up and down the safety aisle. So long story short, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So next time you're in the safety aisle, check it out. I mean, if you don't have safety glasses, pick some up. If you don't have any hearing protection, pick some up, because when you get to be an old person, you don't want to be the one that's all beat up. We want to be doing cool stuff for a long time. A little bit of safety goes a long ways. All right, that's going to be the list for today. Let me know down in the comments what I missed, what you would add to this Harbor Freight list for under $50. Let everyone know down in the comments, and do what you always do, everybody. Take care of one another, and I will see you next time. Bye.